Coho 6-1, goggle. 2, 3. Go cloak now.
I get asked a lot what my favorite video is that we've filmed or the craziest experience that I've had, and it's hard to think of just one, but I'll be honest.
Roger, open up.
This one's definitely up there.
When you think about flying in the middle of the night on MVGs, a mile from factor terrain, it's really one of the most dangerous things that we do.
Green light.
Nighttime flying, it makes you nervous. I don't even like driving at night, so to be flying a 400,000-pound metal tube through the sky at hundreds of miles per hour, just a few hundred feet off the ground in complete darkness, and it definitely makes the hair on the back of your neck stand up.
We use the same airdrop procedures as we would use during the day. That is a stressful thing to do. At night, it's a completely different ballgame.
But hey, that's what we're here to do. That's what this channel is all about, bringing you up close to some of the most fascinating military missions out there. And today, we're bringing you up close at what it's like to go lights out and fly the C-17 Globemaster in complete darkness.
It's the coolest view I've ever seen. New airspeed 250 now.
The stress is higher, the stakes are higher.
My field of vision isn't what it normally is, and that can be very distracting.
As you can see, there's a lot of people in here for the pre-flight briefing. That doesn't tell you how high stakes this sort of flying is. I don't know it will.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pack. The time is now 1600 local, Major Hetrick, go by Prada. This is going to be an unclassified brief for our night sortie tonight.
So the mission for today is we're going to be a 3-ship formation, and we're going to go out and practice NVG airdrop. We're also going to do NVG assault landings, so short field landings. And then we're also going to practice operating as close as we legally can to terrain, and that's within a mile of what that factor terrain is. So it's going to be a higher end training for a lot of our younger folks today, but we have instructors that are going to be able to help them on the way.
So we'll be just prior to sunset, 2030. We will slow to 250 knots exiting, and we're basically going to speed right back up to 310. So make sure you hold that 60 degrees angle bank that will be required.
And then at the very end, we'll have a couple extra surprises for you.
If the snake pad stays flat, you're going to roll it from the front of your head to the back of your head.
Okay. We're here at the aircrew flight equipment section where the pilots and crew are getting fitted for both their helmets and their night vision goggles. Now, since I'll be joining them for the flight myself, that means I need to get fitted as well.
The Air Force doesn't stop when the lights go out.
These pilots can't rely solely on the Air Force's most high-tech aircraft.
The green is your typical night vision, and the inset, the little rectangle, that's your thermal.
They pick up what's called ambient light, so it's very low levels of light that gets intensified in these tubes to allow the pilots and loadmasters themselves to be able to conduct whatever missions that they're conducting for it.
So flying with NVG's night vision goggles really just increases my situational awareness at night.
Pairing these advanced technologies during training keeps pilots' eyes on the adversary day and night.
Well, if you think about it, the C-17 goes into a lot of austere fields and potentially in places that the enemy doesn't want us. So oftentimes we're operating into an airfield with minimal or no lighting. We need NVGs to be able to see, to operate in those environments, whereas an airliner, everything's lit up, including all the cultural lighting around it. So that's the huge difference there and why we need them.
Yes, I'm looking through this right now and you can see some numbers, adjusting it from the front and back to make sure it's visible. Point is, make sure they work down here on the ground before you get up in the air.
So that right there is our ride for this evening's flight. I've always said the C-17 is one of the most beautiful cargo aircraft ever built. However, this will be my very first time ever flying on it at night. Should be pretty sweet. So now this is going to be a night airdrop. Has anything changed with that?
So at night, obviously the situational awareness can be a little lower depending on the lighting mode in the aircraft. The darkness outside, sometimes a little more difficult to see our drogue chute or an extraction chute back there, so it requires a lot more attention to detail from the loadmaster and the crew in general. We do have chem lights all over the platform that they will activate before the platform exits to allow our aero delivery guys on the drop zone to see it coming down and make sure they can watch it and stay safe. But other than that, it's a lot of the same, just a little more stressful.
Well, it's going to be sweet to see.
Oh yeah,
Looking
be
forward
great.
to it.
Awesome.
As I made my way up to the flight deck and got situated in the jump seat, I was able to witness what I think is one of the coolest parts about every military mission.
Kevin, can I get a flaps 10, flaps 1
5 Phoenix 91.
The way the pilots, the loadmasters, the maintainers, the crew work together to pre-flight and prep every single component on the aircraft to make sure everything's safe and secure. It's really cool to watch.
Exterior lights are set. We've been cleared for takeoff, crew, and
After a few minutes, once our aircraft commander finally said we were good to go, we got the clearance from air traffic control, and our nighttime mission was officially underway.
Power set.
Roger.
ADS.
Clamp.
Rotate. On the right.
Gear up.
Gear up.
So right now it is just after 8:30 p.m. local time here in Tacoma, Washington. Now this time of year the sun doesn't actually set till around 9 p.m. So we do have around half an hour to kill before we get complete darkness. So you might be wondering, what are we going to do with those 30 minutes? Well, don't worry, we've got a plan.
So we have a really unique opportunity today, just timing-wise. We're able to fly during what we call the golden hour. So just approaching sunset, it's going to be pristine nature background for you to see as a passenger on the flight today. So also for us as a crew, that's good training as we transition from that day to night. There's certain hazards that we're going to be talking about on the flight and making sure that we're safe with those.
It's at 2,500 there. Keep you under the Bravo.
2,500 armed.
Roger. There's 400 feet. I can talk to Seattle. Once we get out of tower airspace.
Now, one of the coolest features about the C-17 is that the rear cargo ramp can be dropped during flight. Typically, this is used for airdrops or paratroopers, but in my humble opinion, one of the coolest things about doing this is that you can capture some absolutely stunning imagery, photos out the back during flight. On this flight, with 2 other C-17s flying in formation, is going to be pretty sweet.
Connected, hooked up, ready, back here. Knowledge lead.
Doors Delta P is 0. We are at 9,500. You are clear to open.
Mirage opening up.
This is the coolest view I've ever seen. 2 C-17s, golden hour. It doesn't get much better than this.
There you have it. The last sliver of light is disappearing across the horizon, meaning we are officially entering darkness. Coho 6-1, goggle. 2, 3. Go cloak now.
We do everything like as a crew, as a formation. So the formation flight lead will call goggle and cloak. And what that's gonna mean is to put your night vision goggles in position for use. And then also we're gonna change our lighting configuration to be compatible with NVGs.
Traffic is below us, no factor. 2991.
2991 set twice, cobalt.
And 1 pilot.
Some people say it turns night into day. It doesn't do that per se, but it does increase my situational awareness. And just makes me more flexible when we're operating in the middle of the night.
So night vision goggles are on. It's pretty crazy. I mean, it's not quite like it's daytime, but you can see almost everything, the entire terrain. It's a little heavy I'm sure these pilots don't like wearing them for too long, but really cool tech that allows them to fly here at night.
We have both white light or like conventional lights like you would see on an airliner. We also have covert or IR lighting. So obviously if we have very large white lights on while on NVGs, that's going to wash them out and make us less effective.
Coho 60 flight, new airspeed 250 now, acknowledge. 2, 3.
Grant County, Coho 60 flight of 3 C-17s in the descent from 12,500 down to 5,000 into Rainier, DZ.
So in just a few minutes, we're going to see the live airdrop, the pallets going off the back of the C-17. We saw the Loadmaster earlier, tying all the knots, prepping everything to make sure it's good to go, but now it's game time. Now I've seen airdrops in the daytime before, but this will be my first time seeing it at night, where the stakes are a lot higher, pressure's on, can't mess this up.
Airdrop's a stressful thing, right? We're back here managing people, equipment, make sure our timing's right, making sure we've rigged it appropriately, making sure we know what we're doing. In the day, that is a stressful thing to do. At night, it's a completely different ballgame.
Airdrop configuration will be flaps extend, flaps 3/4, index of 74.
We use the same airdrop procedures as we would use during the day. However, the stakes are a lot higher. We're likely flying in a combat environment. It's dark all around us. It's dark inside the cargo compartment. We have a lot lower situational awareness. The stress is higher, the stakes are higher. We have to get out there and make sure we do it just as efficiently as we would during the day.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Green light.
Low clear.
Copy, load clear.
Red light.
Red lights on, crew.
So the unique capability of the C-17 to do assault landings on its own with that size aircraft, we make that even better by being able to do it at night with minimal lighting. Part of that is being able to ingress to a field undetected, because as soon as I get on the ground, I become a target. And so does whatever people or equipment that I'm offloading onto that airfield. So I don't want to increase their risk. I want to try to get in and out with as little detection as possible. So I'm going to minimize my lighting with that, and I'm going to minimize the time that people can see me coming into that field. That's going to depend on the environment, but operating on NVGs gives us that ability.
Grant County traffic, Coho 61, right base, gear down, runway 32 right for a full stop. Grant County traffic.
All right, gear flaps spoilers and shake page. Hold on to your cameras.
So an assault landing compared to a normal landing, it's double the descent rate. So in an airliner, for instance, you're doing in the vicinity of like 250 feet per minute descent. The assault landing is kind of the opposite of that. So we essentially double the feet per minute descent, and we're on a almost double approach path as well. So it's twice as steep.
Now, even though this is a training mission, you have to remember that the pilots and the crew, they're doing this real world.
100 feet stable, 300 feet stable.
They're the ones flying in deployed locations in enemy territory, doing actual assault landings half the time at night without any incident. They're the true professionals.
50 feet.
Now, something pretty unique about the flight I'm on today is that it's a mix of both active duty airmen and Air Force reservists who work side by side. That setup is called Total Force Integration, basically showing how the active duty Air Force and the Air Force Reserve operate as one team. If you're not familiar with the Reserve, it's what I like to call the hidden gem of the Air Force. You get the chance to wear the uniform, serve your country on missions like being a pilot, loadmaster, or maintainer, all while having a career in the civilian world or going to school on the side. The 446 has multiple reserve squadrons with opportunities across a wide range of career fields. It's a setup that offers flexibility, purpose, and some pretty unique experiences, and if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, you can check out airforce.com/reserve to see how you can get involved today.
And you can just say we're taking active.
Line up, checklist, flight controls.
Free and clear.
Flaps and flaps, flaps 10, flaps 1/2, index 81, co-pilot.
Flight 10, flaps 1/2, index 81, pilot.
Exterior lights are set. Line up checklist is completed.
So for the next section of the flight, we're actually going to go do a low level on NVGs. So it's quite a bit different, and I really only have to be 500 feet above the piece of terrain on that leg. That's the highest.
Low levels are always fun. Just being able to fly so fast through the canyons just a few hundred feet off the ground, I mean, it's exciting. However, when I've done it in the past, it had always been during the day. So this time, at night, I knew it was going to be quite a bit different.
I mean, at this point, flying on NVGs, like I'm fairly used to it, but obviously, like I've been doing this a long time. The younger you are, the more energy it takes from you when you operate on NVGs. You're literally looking through like small tubes, right? So my field of vision isn't what it normally is, and that can be very distracting when you're learning how to operate on NVGs. It's very procedurally intensive. So as opposed to like a day low level, when I'm really like tracking my turn radius around the next piece of terrain, at night I have to plan my next altitude to make sure that I'm at my next safe altitude before I get there. So it's a lot more looking down track and making sure, as we say, I stay ahead of the jet rather than getting behind.
So as we were nearing the end of the flight, I realized, hey, this is a nighttime flight after all. And you know what would be pretty cool? A C-17 popping flares in total darkness.
So the C-17 has a whole defensive suite to allow us to operate in and around a myriad of different threats. One of the primary portions of that is our flares.
So as I made my way out to the edge of the ramp and sat down, I was just waiting. We had no idea when the flares were gonna pop off, but we knew they were gonna come at some point. So waiting, 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 and then all of a sudden, the sky lit up like the 4th of July. It literally felt like we had entered hyperspace from Star Wars. One of the coolest things I've ever seen.
Come on, guys, that was absolutely insane. Pretty much lit up the entire sky. Have you had the chance to see that back there?
Absolutely. That's a good showing of what the C-17 is capable of doing to defend itself.
That's pretty much the entire flare dispersal right there. I mean, thank you so much for letting us tag along for this one. Won't be forgetting it anytime soon.
We're happy to have you, and you're welcome back anytime.
I think the reason the C-17 is the workhorse of the Air Force is because it's such a unique aircraft. It literally can do everything, and because of that, it's a very high demand asset. So we take pride in that, but it's also like a difficult balance for us as a crew force. As a platform and as a community, we're like really having to evolve quickly, and we're doing our best to keep up with all the changes in the world that are going on right now.
I get asked a lot what my favorite video is that we've filmed or the craziest experience that I've had, and it's hard to think of just one. But I'll be honest, after seeing that, after getting to fly a C-17 at night, after getting to see the crew work together in such a high pressure, high stakes type of situation, this one's definitely up there.
Actually being able to help people is what I joined the military to do, and this facilitates that want, that desire
And so tonight's mission is just another representation of a mission of hope that we can give those citizens, that they have not been forgotten by the world.
Well, it's now 2 a.m. in the morning here at Joint Base Lewis McChord, and that was one of the craziest missions I have ever been a part of. What these pilots and loadmasters do is no joke, and I gained a newfound sense of appreciation for everything that they do. A huge thanks to the 62nd Airlift Wing and 446 Airlift Wing for giving me the chance to come here and tag along. Good night from Joint Base Lewis McChord, and I'll catch you next time.